Hi guys, welcome to this week's Extra Time Show, your second bite of the e-Spurs cherry each and every week. This is your brand new Extra Time Show, as I say. You can catch this each and every Thursday. It's in addition to our regular podcast, which goes out on a Monday. And on Extra Time, we'll get your thoughts each week on the big talking point. This week's talking point we put out on our social media, Twitter and Facebook. We wanted to know who, in your opinion, was our best all-round fullback. So obviously the four to choose from: Davies, Trippier, Rose and Kyle Walker. And once again, you got in touch with us in your droves, guys. Thanks for contacting us and letting us know what you think. And as always, the lads have got your responses here for us. Before we go to the responses from the lads, let's go to Rick. I want to get your thoughts on this one, Rick. In terms of the four available, who's our best in your opinion?
I think throughout the season I've chopped and changed. At left back, I'm going to go for Danny Rose. And the reason I'm going to go for Danny Rose is, as we saw Saturday, he just offers that bit more attacking intent than Ben Davies does. Listen, all the four Spurs fullbacks love to get forward. There's definitely that advanced in their game now because of the way Pochettino loves his fullbacks to bomb on. I think Danny Rose, for me, just shades Ben Davies in terms of being able to offer that bit more going forward. And I have to say, Rose as a fullback has improved so much over the last 18 months since Poch took over, that defensively he's got so much better as well. So for me, Danny Rose at left back, and I'm going to go for Kieran Trippier on the right. Now, that probably is a surprise to many because of how good Walker has been over the last few years or so, how much he's come on. There is times in Walker's game still for me that he does have that Ricker in him. And for me, Trippier as a fullback is continually improving. I think the stats say it all. I think Trippier provides the most crosses. He had in 2015 the most crosses outside the top 5 clubs as a fullback. So he gets the ball into the box plenty of times. That creates goal scoring opportunities, like we saw at Watford away. So for me, defensively, Trippier is sound. Going forward, even better. So for me, he just shades it over Walker. So to confirm for me, Danny Rose, Kieran Trippier, my favoured fullbacks.
He's got a wicked cross on him as well, hasn't he, Trippier? When he gets forward, absolutely pings it into the box. Ian, can you remember a time when we've had such strength in depth, apart from when we had Timothy Atuba, of course? Can you remember a time when we've had such strength in depth at the fullback position?
In a word, no. I think, looking at it, we are extremely blessed to have what is, I think, the four best fullbacks possibly in any team, in any league. And I wholeheartedly agree with Rick with regards to his choice of first choice left and right back. But no, I think, I think they're pivotal to the way we play. No, I can't think of any others. We've had good players at that position, but not four of them at one point. So I'm afraid I'm struggling. I can't think of any other time when we've had a better group of fullbacks.
It's a really interesting one. It'd be interesting to see what you guys out there think. As Ian's mentioned there, we have had individuals in the past who have done a great job there in their position, but collectively it's a great time at the moment. Jace, you've got some of the responses from the guys this week.
Yep, first of all we got Chris at Chris Spurs 30. Never thought I'd say this, but I can't split them. I really like Trippier, and Rose plays his heart out every game. We've got Diraj Rajkarnikar at Diraj RK. Very difficult to say because everyone has their own strengths. If I had to choose, then Rose for his desire and commitment. We've got e-Spurs Norway at e_Spurs_Norway. I would say Davis because he's a very solid defender and has a great crossing foot on him, and he has learned to play much more attacking football. And then we've got Rodney Sammy G at Rodney_Sammy_G. You missed the point if you ask this question. Potts chooses who is better suited for the opponents, not who is the better pairing. So there's a different point of view completely.
Yeah, maybe that's the answer. Maybe Pochettino plays who he thinks on the day will perform best against the opponent we're playing it. So maybe that's a great point there. Maybe we're all missing the point. Fantastic. It's lovely to see it, isn't it? And John, you've got some more for us.
Certainly have. First one is Mr. Man at Robbie B 1994. I love Danny. He's one of our own as well. I'll come on to what I reckon, but I agree with him. Ollie Lander at Olander_92. As a player, Davies can defend effectively, attacks well, and very good delivery. Whether he should start weekly is up for debate. We've got James Forster, THFC, at the James Forster. They all complement each other so well. Different attributes, and I really can't choose a standout. Davies does the basics so well. And then Spurs for life, our friend Lou Jane 1882. All four are very good. For me, Benny's the best, but I never mind who is playing, as they all do their jobs very well and give 100%. On that, when you look at it, Robbie, Sammy, or whoever it was who's Jay just read out there, I think the important thing is Poch knows the opponent well enough to know who he's going to pick. And if you look, so far in 2016, we've played 14 games. All four of the fullbacks have started 7 games each.
Yeah.
So when you look at it like that, you know, it is as much as it's good for rotation, it's not affected the performances at all. So I think we should give Poch a bit of credit there and say, you know, he knows who to pick. And if you look overall, we've played 40 games now this season. Walker's played 25 and Trippier 15 at right back, but left back it's a 20-20. So Davies has started 20 and Rose has started 20. So when you look at it like that, you know, it's not guesswork. Poch knows what he's up to, and he knows how good the players are and what their attributes are. And I think, you know, we're reaping the rewards of that on the pitch. And I would say I just love Danny Rose because he's just like that performance at Man City just typifies it. And I was so happy he got the goal yesterday. And the other thing is as well, if you look at all them players, in the last few weeks, they've all contributed goals. Davies won a penalty away at Fiorentina. Rose scored yesterday. Walker got an assist yesterday. Trippier got an assist for the own goal against Fiorentina, obviously scored against Watford. So, you know, it's all looking rosy.
Well, surely the goal against Arsenal earned Danny Rose legendary status anyway, didn't it? I think is
the thing is, right, the thing that cracks me up about that goal, it was an amazing goal. I'm not saying it wasn't, right, but he played so bad in that game. He got hooked at half time.
Yeah.
He done nothing else in that game. I think he had one touch. His performances throughout, you know, he can perform for 90 minutes nowadays.
Yeah.
Maybe that weren't the case 6 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. It's a great shout. And he's done so well, hasn't he, this season? I think a couple of weeks ago we mentioned he had a cracking game. Can't quite remember the game, but, you know, he's been on top form this season. Brilliant to see. And he plays with that hunger, doesn't he, that Pochettino's given to him, you would think. And
Yeah. The only thing is with Rose, I can't understand how he's not been capped yet. I really can't.
Yeah.
You know, he's been in a couple of squads and not played. But it really does my head in. He'll carry on picking Gibbs, who's not really playing for Arsenal, and he'll pick Bertrand, who's in average Southampton side. And you've got Rose there, who's a very, very good fullback playing for the team who are fighting for the league. It don't make any sense to me.
No, absolutely. You know, it's the Spurs crew in that England side getting larger and larger, aren't they? It's lovely to see.
Certainly is.
Fantastic. And Rick, with regards to the fullbacks, because there is that strength in there at the moment, it would lead you to think that possibly we might be seeing Yedlin depart in the summer, because he's not likely to get back in this squad, is he?
It's going to be very tricky now when you think about it. I mean, it's hard enough being a backup, but to be third choice, which, to be honest, he's going to be looking at if he does come back to Spurs. I have to be honest and say that I've not kept too close a tabs on him at Sunderland. But when he did play in the pre-season, he seemed quite considerably far away from the Spurs team. And having said that, the progress that, you know, both Walker and Trippier have made over this 12 months or so, you'd have to say it'd be very hard to see Yedlin breaking into the Spurs team anytime soon. And therefore, it's just one of those things where, you know, it's like you buy players and sometimes, for whatever reason, certain players, you know, progress quicker than others. So I do see, like you've just said there, Andy, Yedlin possibly not making the grade at Spurs.
Yeah, it's a shame because he came over with such promise, didn't he, and hype. And, you know, in America, they were talking him up to be one of the next best things, and just hasn't worked out. Maybe not suited to the style of football over here. Maybe not technically right for Pochettino. It'd be interesting to see, because I, like you, Rick, haven't been keeping too close an eye on his time at Sunderland. So it'd be interesting to know from Sunderland fans what they think of him. But certainly you're going to find it tough if he does come back to Spurs in the summer to get back into this squad. What you got for us, mate?
I've got Mo_Hashim at Mr_briefcase, who says, let's not single anyone out, because they gave their all, love to and want to win every game, but luck ain't on our side sometimes, Coys. Not sure what he's getting at there. Don't get that one. I've got Tony at TonyK_THFC, who says Trippier, as he defends as well as the rest, but he's also the most consistent with the quality of his final ball into the box. Have to agree. I've got Josh Fitter at JoshFitter95, who says, not sure we have a best. They all have their strengths and weaknesses. I think our most effective at this moment is Trippier, although that great changes from week to week. Great position to be in. #Coys. I've then got finally Sandeep Kumar at Little Aristotle, who says Trippier, hands down. There's no point bombing forward if you can't deliver a decent cross. Solid in defence too. Davis, very close second. We have to say that Trippier seems to have really come on in the last, 2 or 3 months, where fans, if you said at the start of the season, I know Trippier wasn't getting many games, he's only getting the Europa League games, I don't think there was going to be much of a competition, but it just shows really the rise of Trippier in this, like I say, last 2 or 3 months, that as, he's being picked over Walker now. So, and I think the issue we had with Walker in the past is that he didn't have much competition at right back. So you have to argue that he was never going to improve. The same really as Rose. Davis has come on. Davis came in and kind of, bombed Rose on. And it's the same, I'd like to think now with Trippier and Rose, that both of them are kind of feeding off each other. And that's why you're seeing an improvement in both of their performances. It's
an interesting one, because who'd have even thought Trippier signing for Spurs before he came? Who'd have picked him out of a bunch of left backs? I doubt anyone really. And Pochettino or the scouts there, whoever spotted him, has found what we hope will be a really great find. It really looks to be coming on now, doesn't he, as a player? And the crossing, we see constantly frustrated by some of Spurs' crossing. We mentioned on a previous podcast again, but Trippier's crossing is fantastic. Whips the ball in with some pace as well, doesn't he? So, it must be great for Harry Kane to have that service to feed off of. Fantastic to see. And Ian, just to finish up on this one, mate, we're going to come to you. You mentioned that Rose and Trippier were your choices as fullbacks. If you had to give me one from those two as our strongest of the lot, who would it be?
I'm going to go for Trippier, based on the quality of the crosses, the tenacity of the tackling, and the way he gets up and back. I just think he just nails it for me overall from Rose. But to use an old cliche, I can't put a fag paper between any of them.
Yes, what a turnaround, from a relegated Burnley side to Spurs' best fullback, arguably. It's
definitely
what a performance, what a season for him and for the club. And for the talking point next week, John, you've got the subject for the coming week.
I have indeed. Right, as Ozspur Dan managed to flummox all of us, we're going to put his question out to all of our listeners and ask, what is, or have we as a club, as a team, got a weakness?
Oof.
So if anyone can spot one, good luck to you.
Because we're still racking our brains over this one. Great question, Dan, and it's now become our talking point for next week, guys. So get in touch with us and let us know what you think. My thanks on Extra Time this week to Jason, John, Ricky and Ian joining us as a guest this week. Brilliant chat. Don't forget, guys, to get in touch with the Extra Time show each and every week. We want your thoughts on the big talking point. We'll put those out on our Twitter and our Facebook each and every week, and you can leave your replies to be read out on the following week's Extra Time podcast. From all of us at the e-Spurs podcast, massive game coming up at the weekend against Arsenal. Let's hope for 3 points and continuing our push. Have a great week, guys, and as always, come on you Spurs.